Hello everyone, welcome to another instalment of JLC TV with the host, me, Jack Walsh, from our HQ in Bristol. And if you don't already know, we're an IT distributions company based in the UK, also in the Netherlands as well. My role here is head of new business, account director. I have an array of IT resellers that rely on me to navigate them or help them navigate. I feel like I'm the IT hardware shepherd. I am helping them navigate through the realms of IT hardware solutions. It just sounds super fancy. But yeah, that's kind of what I do here. Also, we do this JLC TV, this little side quest that we've been trying to evolve. This is coming up to our 100th episode. It starts actually tomorrow.
Yeah, it's episode 99 today. And
Episode 99 today, 100 tomorrow. And tomorrow is a big day, obviously not only because it's 100 episodes, but it's also our JLC Christmas party as well in the evening. We're going to be giving out some awards. And we could do a thing there, actually, couldn't we? We could maybe do some videoing there.
Oh, yeah, that would be nice.
Just thought of that.
Yeah, that'd be good.
So yeah, this is just a little segment. Today we're not really going to go into anything too much. We might go into the office, but today I want to talk about mushrooms. I wanted to go into it a little bit more. I know I've spoken about it before. We often go on a bit of a tangent, but I really rate mushrooms. I take lion's mane, I take cordyceps mushrooms. If you don't know cordyceps mushrooms, there's that recent series, The Last of Us, with Pascal. Is it Pascal? Pascal?
I can't remember. Maybe Kelly. Maybe you could find out his name.
Kelly, can you? I'll tell you what, Kelly, you're going to be our Jamie on Joe Rogan. Do you watch Joe Rogan at all?
Yes.
Get it up, Jamie. So yeah, I want to go to cordyceps mushrooms is another mushroom that I take. But I take it. I go to a company based here in Bristol where they're called Fungrarium. Shout out, they're brilliant, and they do the concentrated formula solution of mushrooms. So it's quite potent. And actually, I had some this morning, and because it comes in like a little glass bottle, and you use like pipettes and stuff. But so I take cordyceps mushrooms, and that's from the latest series. Well, it's from the series The Last of Us, where the cordyceps, for example, they're a parasitic mushroom, so they actually feed on the living. They actually feed on insects. Nothing bigger than an insect. It's only kind of the insect world which they prey on, but they inhabit their prey via spores, and then over time, the insect that it's hosting is it will start acting strange, and then eventually the insect will maybe act very weird, and maybe they'll climb up somewhere really high, just acting all like kind of out of sorts, and before they know it, they're dead, and they've got like the cordyceps mushroom growing out of them. So depending on which insect as well, so there's a cordyceps for every insect as well. But that's not the reason why I take it, because that would be weird. I'm not obviously don't want anything growing out of me. But the way that cordyceps consumes, it embodies its food. Like me and you, for example. Me and you, we would want to consume something, we'd eat it, right? So that's how we consume it, and then our body breaks it down, and that's how we consume the nutrients. But the cordyceps, the mushrooms, and this is not just exclusive to mushrooms. Mushrooms do this not just to the living, but that's what sets cordyceps apart from the other mushrooms. They obviously focus on the living, whereas the other mushrooms, they focus on the decay and things like that. But so that's me. Have you got it up yet?
Sorry, no, what was it? Sorry.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were looking at something.
Sorry, yeah, I was looking at the mushroom stuff.
Oh, were you? Okay. What have you found?
I found 7 health benefits.
Yeah.
Your first one is decrease the risk of cancer.
Yeah, so they are cancer fighting. So what happens with cancer, what causes that is they're damaged cells. So, and then what happens is they because our body are creating cells all the time. You'll have a completely different set of cells that you did like a couple of years ago. You're constantly being replaced. But when the cell gets damaged, and then I watched this really interesting video on it actually. But when the cells get damaged, and then they'll replicate. But cancer. So there's been some cases where, and they've tried it and they've only tested it. So it's all working theory at the moment. But a lot of it, it can prove to reduce and sometimes get rid of as well. So yeah, there's been a few cases where that's happened. And you could put it down to the body, obviously fighting it normally. But I mean, it can't help to have that in your corner. There are other benefits. I take lion's mane as well. Lion's mane is heavily.
It says that the best ones to take to decrease risk of cancer are shiitake
Shiitake mushrooms, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice, okay. Oyster mushrooms, yeah. I mean,
murtake and king oyster.
okay, all right. So a few there. I mean, mushrooms generally, like, there's over 6 million species of mushroom, and we don't know yet know them all. 6 million. 6 million species of mushroom, and we still don't know all of them. And they're always there. Mushrooms have been around since the beginning of time. I mean, but not beginning of time, but beginning of our world. So what inhabited the earth first was mushrooms. So essentially, we could all stem from mushrooms. Essentially, in a weird way, but I take lion's mane as well. That's good for. It's great for anxiety. Actually, it helps combat anxiety and depression. Also, it's good for the heart. Great for the immune system as well. So I've taken it all of this year, and I've only been ill once all of this year, and that's I've started it as well. So I'm not sure if there's anything in that. I don't know, but I've been taking it for the majority of this year, and I'm yet not to be ill. And I take lion's mane, I take cordyceps, and I take. There's one more. I think it's turkey tail. Do you want to get that up? Turkey tail. It's a bit of a weird one.
Did you have it like every morning in like a smoothie? Or?
Yeah. So I have it. So I make a smoothie every morning. I have it's like blueberries. I throw in some. We got some nuts. We're throwing some spinach. I throw in some avocado, bananas, chia seeds, a bit of protein powder, and then coconut water, and then mix it all together. But this morning I put my I forgot to add my mushroom in, so I did it like kind of in a little glass. So I just poured it in, but I forgot it's pure alcohol. So it was like a little shot this morning.
The mushrooms.
Yeah, because it's in ethanol, is it, or it's like in a alcohol solution in order for the mushroom not to go off. So it's pure alcohol. So I had pure alcohol this morning.
It says that they contain PSP and PSK compounds that stimulate immune cells and inhibit tumour growth in some studies.
Wow. I mean, there are other cases as well where mushrooms are used not just for obviously eating and consuming and prolonging life and helping our quality of life. There are times where they've used them for to create. So, for example, in Japan, they used something called like a slime fungus, and they basically what they did is they got a maze, and a maze that represented Japan. So you had all of the main cities lined out or highlighted out and by proteins. So you had Tokyo and a few other places all dotted around in this very complex maze. And the slime fungus feeds on protein, so like food. Yeah? And they put the slime fungus in different areas of the maze, and then it's spread out. And then you watch it like it's spread out, like it's hunting. And then when it finds or comes across a protein, which would indicate a major city in Japan, it would then find the quickest way back to the source of where it stemmed from. So it's about pulling the food back. And Japan actually based their underground system on that slime fungus. So it's just another example of that symbiotic relationship that we've got with Mother Nature. I just think they've done it so well. There are cases in Singapore as well where they've incorporated like nature and into their infrastructure. So a lot of their buildings are riddled with species that is struggling to adapt or might have been pushed out because of the presence of human beings. So I just love that relationship, and I love that we can't fight it. So you've got to encourage nature. You've got to encourage it. So it just really speaks to me. And when they've got health benefits like that, fighting cancer. Another one as well, it helps combat dementia. So there's this theory, right? So there was I don't know when they did this, but just correct me. I'm sure if you've got any comments there, please do say, just because I want to make sure I don't butcher this and I want to get it correct. But they did. So what they did, so what happens with dementia? It affects the majority of us when we get older. Basically, the brain is creating new stems as we grow up, but they decrease. So your brain capacity will be damaged over time, and you'll forget and all these horrible things. But so what they did is got 100 mice, and they infected. I think it was about. They infected 30% of the mice. I think so. They infected 30% of the mice with this. this brain-altering chemical, right? And they tested it, and they actually probably killed the mice and just to dissect the brain to make sure that the brain was actually not broken or like damaged, but damaged irreversibly, so they couldn't do anything. So they and that would represent the humans of us that get dementia. And they gave this particular mouse, also all the ones that are affected now, they gave the mouse over time, they gave them like a dosage of mushroom, and over time, the mouse, the mice that were infected, they actually got better. So they could actually, they test this theory, and they put the mice, but before they infected them, they put the mice in a maze, and again, using mazes again, but they put the mice in a maze, and they put food, like in various spots of the maze, and the mouse remembered where the food was. And then when they injected them with this brain-altering chemical, the mice clearly couldn't remember where it was. So not only do we know that the brain is damaged to the point where it cannot be repaired by the mouse, but we also know that it can't remember as well. So we have two things. So it's a great theory. So now they introduced this particular mushroom, and I can't remember what mushroom it was. It was on this. I watched it on a Joe Rogan podcast with this guy, and I forgot. It was just fascinating. But when you've got, I mean, again, this is all theory, and it's all kind of theory based, and you could argue that just because it works on an animal doesn't mean it would work for us. And we've not yet really gone too much into human trials because no one, or not that I know of, is willing to put a name on it. For example, with medicines and things like that, obviously they're all owned by pharmacy companies, right? So they can patent their chemical, but you can't patent mushrooms. You can't own it. No one can own it because it's a thing. It's like a.
Because it's just a natural.
That's
thing,
it. Yeah. So no one's willing to pay the millions of dollars it would cost to do human trials.
Oh, well, that's interesting. So it's not just kind of profit and.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And a lot of the, I mean, if you look at kind of theories as well, like Chinese medicine's been around for thousands of years before any of us, right? And they use mushrooms like there's no tomorrow. And they definitely know. They know what's up for sure, and the Chinese have been doing it for a long time. And a lot of their theories is all based on that as well. So, yeah.
Also says here, 1 gram of your lion's mane mushroom daily for 49 weeks significantly improves your congenitive test scores compared to the placebo ones.
Okay, all right. See, look, when you've got stuff like that, like, why not? Why would you not just take it? Why would you not just try it? I just feel like we could be. I think as a society, I think we should be consuming more mushrooms. But then again, it's not really pushed because who owns it? No one owns mushrooms, right? I mean, you can make money on them and you can farm them and do things like that. But I feel like it's only become, I'd say, only like relevant or starting to become commercialized at the moment.
You've got to think less than a year and your brain's sort of healing itself in a way.
Yeah, what with mushrooms?
We're taking 1 gram of the lion's mane.
Yeah.
I started hearing about them after Jeremy Clarkson's farm show, and then his wife or girlfriend was selling them.
Lion's mane, wasn't it?
the lion's
Yeah.
mane,
Yeah.
And I hadn't really thought about it at all.
So they're obviously mushrooms, right? What we see, they are the fruiting body of. They're only the fruiting body. So if you make up, so obviously if you consider it like a flower when it opens up, right? It's very rare. But the only reason it opens up is to be pollinated, right? And so it can spread its seed. That's the only time we ever see a mushroom, really, is when it's. So we're only seeing it in a very small essence of its life. But aside from that, I mean, it probably stays like flowered or like fruited or whatever. It would only stay like that for like maybe a couple of months, and then it would just die. But its network stems so far. I think one of the I think I want to make sure I get this right, but one of the largest living organisms is a mycelium network. So is the mushroom network underground? It covers the majority of the planet. Like if you think about.
And it's all joined up together, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's all this sentient network, and there's times as well where because it stems so far, it has relationships with other plants, with other animals. With other plants. So it connects trees together. So for example, if a tree was being attacked, let's say, by like a colony of ants, and they're starting to consume, the trees would use the network of mushrooms. This is true. Would network of mushrooms to communicate to its fellow trees. Only the trees that it kind of knows. Like maybe it's just like their they're sons and daughters. You know, I don't know what the terminology is, but I'm going to use that for lack of a better term. But to warn them of the coming peril, and then the trees will then create a like a toxin to repel the coming attack. I think that's amazing. And there's loads as well where there's another story that I read, and I want to make sure I get this right, but there's a place in I think it might be Canada or somewhere like that, where a lot of these trees are growing quite rapidly. They're easily the largest, and they're all by this river, and it's typically the hunting ground of the brown bear. So the brown bear will go and eat the food, eat the salmon or eat the fish from the lake, and it will leave its carcasses all around the riverside, right? And because of the network of mushrooms, they feed on the carcasses of the fish, and then of course they consume it, and then it goes into sort of matter. But because it's connected to the tree, the tree then it feeds the tree kind of inadvertently. So now, but the trees are now growing stronger and bigger, and it's like loads of theories. It's just loads of like examples of where they just coexist with nature. It's brilliant.
Yeah, so just for taking lion's mane on its own, the benefits you get is potential improvement of mild congenitive impairment, support for depression and anxiety symptoms, it speeds recovery of nerve injuries, protection against stomach ulcers, improved heart health, management of diabetes, cancer prevention, lowers inflammation markers, and improved immune functions.
Wow.
And that is just the lion's mane itself.
Yeah, it's just lion's mane. Yeah, I mean, there's so many others. Like I said, there's just loads. So yeah, why not? You know, I feel like we should be eating way more. I remember when I was a kid, I never really liked them. I mean, you just thought when they're like on the plate, I'd probably just leave them. You know, you just don't think.
Yeah, you just wouldn't eat. Yeah, you just eat them.
I used to have them in spaghetti bolognese that my mum used to make.
Yeah,
She
nice.
used to make you eat the mushrooms and you're like, oh.
Yeah, because
And now you
it was the
just-
texture
yeah.
for me. It was the texture. I didn't like.
Sliminess.
Yeah, but
And now I love them.
but if you think about it, they're not animals. They're not plants. Obviously, not us. They're like another species, really, aren't they? They're probably close to aliens. I feel they inhabited this planet way before we did. I think one of the first fossils to ever be found is a mushroom. You know, and their network spans way larger than us. If you think about what we do on the planet, we just exist. We're there. We inhabit. We destroy. Mushrooms, they obviously cover, but they embody their environment because how they can and what they do is obviously if it wasn't for mushrooms, wasn't for bacteria and like fungus and things like that, we'd be covered in our own stuff. Like everything rots. It rots because of mushrooms, and they then transfer that rich nutrients back into the soil, so everyone else can prosper. So we can have good feed, so we can have good crops, so trees can grow, and all this stuff, all this richness comes from the decaying of debris, and that was because of mushrooms. So, yeah, they're just wicked. I reckon we should go ask.
Yeah,
So
maybe
that,
go
yeah.
ask people what they think about mushrooms.
I love it. I could literally just go on and on and on. I felt like I was going then. Right, Charlie.
Hello.
Tell us what you know about mushrooms.
Mussels?
Mushrooms.
Oh.
You could go into it. Tell me what you can talk about the psilocybin ones if you want. The magic ones.
They make you feel good.
Yeah.
They make you feel good. Nice to eat as well.
Yeah.
Mixed with stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
And food.
Food. So food makes you feel good. Yeah. Nice. What are we talking about? The psilocybin ones, the magic
They
ones.
make you feel. They make you feel good.
Yeah.
Really good. Yeah.
They are unreal, aren't they? I just think that they're crazy. They're so good.
Yeah.
And I feel like magic mushrooms has been like weaponized over time. Like everyone just thinks like, ooh, like makes you feel good. Like, oh, like you see stuff, but really, like what it does to the brain. Art, I feel like you want to say something. Oh, sorry, Sarah.
I've never
Go on, you
tried
walk through if
those,
you want.
But, it'd be interesting. Yeah,
You never tried them? Well, like, yeah, but we consume mushrooms all the time. But
Oh, yeah.
we're talking about.
Good ones. You never tried that?
No, I never tried any good ones. Don't worry, it's not like. As in food, yeah, I love mushrooms. I used to hate them. I don't know why. And it's
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
We did.
that's the same.
We did.
Same with olives, similar. But
Yeah, olives.
I
Yeah.
absolutely love mushrooms. I put them everywhere if I can. Add them to all the dishes if I make. It's just. By the way, mushroom is the largest living organism on Earth.
Yes, that's what I said. Yes, that's what I said.
Yeah.
That's what I said. Yeah, their network is like it's huge, isn't it? Yeah,
For
largest living
miles.
organism.
They're
I'm
like
so glad
stretched
you.
for miles.
Yeah,
And it's also could be very dangerous because it's called cordyceps.
yeah,
It can jump so far, thankfully, to bugs, and it affects the brain and makes them basically brainless.
yeah. Cordyceps. We were talking about that one as well.
Crazy stuff. Scientists are afraid, like you said, like it can jump to humans, but
Like the
only
series.
reason if the climate change like gets warmer, the mushroom will adapt to survive. Why it doesn't attack humans and warm-bodied creatures because it's way too warm for them.
We would, yeah. Well, so we as humans are too warm for them, right? So if we lived in a warmer climate, they would be able to adapt and maybe live in us, and it would be very weird indeed. I feel like we're not ready for that because there's just so many of them.
Oh yeah, there's like
We'd be screwed.
Many different species and whatnot. Yeah, it'd be fun. Like,
This is
Still talking about mushrooms.
yeah. There's
a lot
so
to
many.
discuss.
Do you know there's 6 million species of mushroom?
Yeah,
Charlie, bet you didn't know that, did you? 6 million.
and they're all really fun guys.
Very good. Very good.
So I'm 4 times that at
No.
that jokes.
No worries. I liked it though. It's good. Good delivery. Well, look, there we go. Should we ask more?
Yeah, maybe Luke might.
Luke.
He might have mushroom.
He can't escape this, Tally. He's. It's a curse. He's so good. He's just a curse, though. We're talking about mushrooms.
Oh,
Do you want
you live, are you?
No, wow, we're not live, but we're pre-recording.
Okay. Mushrooms.
Yeah. Do you want to come out and give us your take, or do you not fancy it?
I don't really have too much to say on that topic.
Oh, he doesn't know. No, no, wow.
What sort of mushroom?
Well, just anything. What do you know?
Not too much, to be honest. Only to me, my knowledge probably comes from you,
Wow.
from what you've taught to me in our car journeys.
Okay. Oh, fine. All right. Well, look.
So yeah, I haven't really looked into it. Yeah, so I can't really offer too much insight. On that
All right.
subject.
Well, okay. Fair enough. All right.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry,
it's okay.
nothing
That's
else.
okay. That's all right. Wow, Luke, nothing to say. It makes a difference. All right. Well, how long have we been going for?
22 minutes.
I reckon that might be a nice time to wrap up. You know, and thank you guys so much as well. I really appreciate your support, and this has been today's episode on mushrooms. It's been a truly random day, but of course, guys, if you've got any comments or anything like that, or if you've got any advice or any takes or any or any experiences with mushrooms or what you take yourself, if you take any, just great to hear, and we'll address it in the next episode as well. So please do comment and like and subscribe if you haven't already. But until tomorrow, guys, because tomorrow's Friday, and we're going to be going into what are we doing tomorrow?
Star of the week.
Star of the week.
A live episode tomorrow. We're going to do a live.
Is it a live one? Is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
live
okay.
Star
Oh,
of the Week.
maybe we could do lives actually on a Friday. It'd be
Yeah, I
quite
think
nice.
that's the plan. Yeah, so live's on a Friday.
That's nice. Okay, cool. All right. Well, look, I'll see you tomorrow live, 1 p.m. See you then.